Faraj, welcome to Talkathon with Subhadip and welcome to City of Joy, Kolkata. So how are you finding Kolkata?
Bombing and the bombs, and you can see lots of buildings being destroyed. So that was really scary. Yeah, and I remember seeing the.
The key is an identity. It tells who you are, where you came from. That also you have a home, you have a place. Whether
A warm welcome to Talkathon with Subhadip. আমি শুভদীপ বাসু। আজকের ইন্টারভিউটা একটু ডিফারেন্ট এবং আপনাদের একটু বলে রাখি যার সাথে আজকে কথা বলবো তিনি বাংলা ভাষার সাথে খুব একটা সম্পর্ক নেই, তাই জন্য আমাকে এই অনুষ্ঠানটা ইংরেজিতে করতে হচ্ছে। কিন্তু আপনারা আমার মনে হয় ভাষা কখনোই কোনো ব্যারিয়ার হয় না, তাই জন্য ইংরেজি হোক বা বাংলা আপনারা যদি দেখেন তাহলে ঠিক বুঝতে পারবেন আমাদের কি বক্তব্য, আমরা কি বলতে চাইছি আজকের এই ইন্টারভিউটাতে। Some stories are told with words, some are with flavors, and some, like our guests today, are told with courage, conviction. Today, I have a very special guest, Faraj Alnasser, who is a Syrian chef who migrated from Syria to UK, and that's the journey I'm really looking forward to discuss with him. So let's welcome Faraj and let's hear out his stories on Talkathon with Subhadip today. Faraj, welcome to Talkathon with Subhadip and welcome to City of Joy, Kolkata. So how are you finding Kolkata?
Thank you so much for having me, first of all. My pleasure. I love Kolkata. It's a beautiful city. It's remember a lot of my hometown. The vibe, the people, the food, the noise, the buildings, the little gossip travels through the city. It's a beautiful city. Yeah, it's a really beautiful a place to be at. Being from Aleppo as well, it's much more familiar when it's coming from Europe, where it's a completely different of the other side of the world. Yeah.
So you're liking the cities.
I'm loving it.
Have you tasted the food? Have you tasted the roadside?
I love the food. I mean, I've always heard about like the Bengali food and Indian food. I mean, I didn't have much knowledge about like Bengali food. I also like Indian food is just like one thing, but coming to Kolkata and knowing is.
So what's your favorite food? What did you like most here in Kolkata?
What I did not like, I loved everything. I loved the fish fry. What I also did like.
Have you tried rolls?
The rolls? Yes, the chicken rolls. Yeah. And there, I love it. Kusum? Yes. Yeah. In fact, I went again on my own second time. I took the scooter and it's like taking me to Kusum. I really have.
Are you in the Refugee or the Uber rides?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Because this is, I think, for me, it's I can see the city from open air. You just walk out. It takes you all around, and also the lights and everything. So no, it's beautiful.
Oh, hi Shubha.
Hello.
Oh, that's so nice. Yeah, very much. So Faraj. So you were a chef. You were a Syrian. And you were a TEDx speaker, correct? So which of these identities do you think that you relate to?
I mean, I think all of them.
Which is the closest to your heart?
I mean, I think it's a certain stage of life where life takes you and how it shapes you. Even being a Syrian it's always me, who I am, or how I identify myself, and this is my identity. So it's a kind of like a dress you wear from the first day, and that is who you are. But of course, we are able to adapt and change by the time and have different identities as well. So not only one thing, but the roots is the same. And being also a migrant or refugee, it's a journey. It shapes my narrative, my life, and everything. So and add something really beautiful to my life. So I'm really proud of it, and I think it's all in one.
In this context, I would like to go back to your childhood days in Aleppo. So you have been brought up at Aleppo, and just tell me how was the journey from Aleppo to UK and to Cairo and again to Kolkata. So this is a long journey, and there are
Not a long journey.
yeah.
But what I would like to mention is that Aleppo is also a very beautiful, vibrant city, very old and ancient city. Delicious foods, and also we have the thing there. We say rest of Syria is one food, and Aleppo food is one thing. And everyone who is from Syria traveling to Aleppo, we say make sure you're gonna be fed very well, and the food there is great. It's great. Might be a bit too rich for people not from Aleppo because of the spices and also the different flavors and tastes. Or it can be overwhelming to some, but it's delicious. So the journey, it's a long journey. In 2012, when the war broke in Syria, with my family we had to flee.
2014.
2012.
2012.
Yeah. So I was there for the first year of the war. I've seen some part of the war, and it was horrific. It was very dangerous, very bad, very scary. Because all of a sudden you have to leave your home. Where are you gonna go? You have to just carry a suitcase with you and just leave, run away. Some people might not have time to carry a suitcase with them, or might just lose everyone behind them and have to go somewhere for safety. So we were very lucky to escape to Cairo, where I lived there for a year with my parents, and after that I was
managed to go to Cairo in that scenario.
I always wanted to travel. I always wanted to go somewhere it's different and
No, my question is, you in 2012 when the war broke.
yes.
So when the war broke out in Syria, you tried to flee from Syria to Cairo.
Yeah.
So how did it happen?
We basically went to Turkey because Aleppo is a border to Turkey. So we took a car, took us to Turkey. And that was also, the journey was should be for an hour. It took us 6 hours because we had to go through villages to avoid all bombing and the bombs. And you can see lots of buildings being destroyed. So that was really scary. Yeah. And I remember seeing the fear in my mom's eyes and dad's. But they're just trying to be very strong at that time.
Who were riding on the car? Your father was riding?
No, who was someone else who was riding the car. And we went to Turkey. We managed to make it safely, and then from there we took the ship to Egypt in 2012. And then after that, we lived there for a year. And I decided to go somewhere to continue my studies, to go back to Turkey. And I felt really homesick at that time. This is the first time I experienced homesickness, being away from homeland more than a year and not knowing if ever we go back to Syria. We thought that's the end of it. And I wanted to be somewhere close to the border in case if anything happened, I just can go back home. So I went to Turkey to live by the Syrian-Turkish border. But also that wasn't an easy decision. I experienced homelessness for the first time of my life. And having no skill, no job, no even education. I have not finished my degree, my education. So that was really tough for me. But it was my decision. It was my decision. But on the other hand, I had no idea what I was doing. I was 16, 17 years old boy, no idea what I'm doing.
Too young.
Too young to understand all of that. And when the life became much more difficult in Turkey after 2 years, I decided to leave because it was very difficult to stay there. And my parents were a bit upset. Why did I leave to Turkey, etc. But I didn't want to show them that I'm weak. I want to give up. So I decided not to go back to Egypt. And it was also impossible to go back at that time. So I thought, okay, the only option is to go to Europe, like other people who basically had to go to Europe for a better place or opportunities in life. I remember in 2015, I took that decision. That was also, you have to go whole through the journey. Europe is just not 1 hour drive, or you can just take the plane and go there. My passport expired. I didn't have money. How am I going to go to Europe? So the only option is to take the horrific journey from Turkey to Greece.
Please describe the journey.
Now I can talk about it in a much more fun way, but
I know.
But at that time, actually, I think I didn't think about the risk. I just was saying, sometimes when you think about your safety, you forget the risk. You forget what you're doing because the only thing you want to be is to be safe. So I didn't really kind of look into the journey in a kind of more rational. Just like let me just go and cross the border. So I went with I found a smuggler to go through with someone, and you have to pay them, and then they take you to kind of the west side of coast of Turkey, where you're close to the Greek island, and then you go into like inflated boats. And he would tell you like you're gonna be with 40 people. You leave early in the morning, and then you reach the island. And I thought, oh, fine, okay. But then when I went there, we were 54 people, so we were like too many people in the boats, which is and also inflated boats. So and lots of kids and women. And I was like very shocked. I said, this is too dangerous. We cannot go like that. And he put the gun on my head, said, if you're not happy, you can stay here, but you're gonna be killed because they're mafia. I'm like, no, not sure, I'll go. And I went, and like halfway through in the middle of the sea, the engine stopped. We didn't know what to do. Well, there's a woman sitting on my lap, and she said, if anything happened to me, look after my baby son who was 10 months old. I was like, I was 19 years old. I have a lot in I have so much had happened in my life. Also, of course, everyone had his own story, but it's what I'm gonna do. So luckily, we made it to the Greek island after a horrific journey. Yeah, because we had to throw ourselves in the water, try to push to kind of reduce the weight on the boat, and made it to the Greek island. And then as soon as we made it there, the engine just like destroyed. Yeah, it was a miracle, like how we made it. So we got to island is called Chios in Greece, and then they kept us in somewhere in the desert, in the middle of nowhere. Oh. You're not allowed to see anyone, and no one see you. We were locked there, and they gave us really bad food and only one meal a day, and there's no toilets or shower or anything. You're just in a pure desert environment. Treated really badly, and they gave us after 1 week they gave us paper that we're allowed to leave the island to go to Athens to leave the country in 6 months, which I did. And then as soon as you reach a place called Saloniki in Greece, you have to just walk. So we're not allowed to use any transportation because we were refugees. So I had to walk from Saloniki, which is in Greece, a city in Greece, to Macedonia, North Macedonia, then to Serbia, but also through the whole journey, basically you're walking, and you've been tortured, and you've been basically taken to the police station, and you're not allowed to use any form of transport. And if they find you with any buses and any sort of car, yes, they basically would arrest the person. Yeah, and also they arrested too. So we were scared, and they give you just very short period of time to leave the entire country. Like in Serbia, we had only 3 days to leave the entire country on foot. It's impossible. God. So we had to hide ourselves like in the forest. When I say us, I mean other people who we meet on the street. Mm-hmm. Until I reached Hungary, and Hungary arrested us in a jail for 2 weeks, and we were tortured, naked, only one meal a day. And that was pork meat. I was vegetarian, and they know some people don't eat pork because of religious reason. And we were forced to eat that. It was really bad. The water was dirty. Yeah, not clean drinking water. And after that, they forced us to go back to Serbia. It's complicated. It's you cannot summarize it in one word. But it's shocking. It's really shocking how they can treat the kids like that. Yeah, and people, kids. I was in the jail with kids playing around in the playground in the jail. It's like why we in prison? Just because we are refugees? Just because we do not want to be in the war zone? Just because we don't want to fight? Just because we don't want to be part of that evil things had happened in my homeland? Instead of like helping, yeah, you're basically doing exactly what people are actually running from. And after that, went back to Serbia, and the Hungarian police said, you're not allowed to go back to Europe. If you get back, we will arrest you, put you in jail for 3 years. So we have to find a way to go back to Europe, but without being cut by the police.
I understand.
So I tried the third time until I managed to go through the forest, managed to make it to Austria, I went to Germany, and here was like the first safe place where I stayed for a week with a friend.
And you had a friend.
I had my mom's cousin who's been there for 40 years. So I managed to get in touch with him, and he helped me for a bit, and he said, stay here. I said, no, I don't want to stay. I think at that time I was too traumatized to be in a place had any connection with the world. So I wanted to be in a place in an island has no border with other rest of Europe or Middle East. I was too traumatized. So that's why I wanted to go to the UK. So, and he said, but it's going to take you a long journey. It's not easy. I said, fine, I'll find my way. Went to France, from France, went to Calais, Dunkirk, and I stayed there also in a refugee camp with lots of mafia and things happening there, like like human traffic and etc. And I tried to avoid that until after a month, I managed to be in a lorry. There was three options to go to the UK. Either you pay someone like £2,000-3,000, which I didn't have, and also it's not guaranteed as well because you give them cash, or you throw yourself on the train or somewhere, or you just go inside of a lorry. And the only option is like, okay, I'll go inside of a lorry. I went first time, it didn't work. Second time, I couldn't do it. Third time, I saw people just walking at night, and I followed them. And we went inside, and I didn't know it was a refrigerated lorry. I thought just like a normal lorry. So we went inside, it was very squeezed tight, and then someone closed the door. And then after a few hours, the driver moved. He didn't know we were inside. It was freezing cold. We're about to die.
Oh my God.
Yeah, after 6-8 hours, you couldn't breathe anymore. We tried to make a noise, he couldn't let us out. And I couldn't breathe. And after that's the end of it. I thought and my family didn't know where I was. No one knew where I was. And yeah, it was really bad. Woke up in a hospital. Don't know where it was exactly, but I think it was in England. And the doctors were really nice and kind. And then they saw my Syrian passport. They got an interpreter, talked to me in Arabic. And they said, don't worry, you're fine, you're safe. We just need to tell you like what happened and how did he come here. I have no idea. I remember I was on the lorry, and they said, well, we found 14 people, and you and this guy survived. Yeah, and the rest of
8 of them.
the 12 people died. Yeah, and I could have been one of them.
Oh my.
Yeah, I mean,
this is really a journey.
When he said that to me, I was like, wow, these people also have story. These people also had a hope to be safe. These people also run from a war or from other different reasons they run from, and hoping for a better future, better place. But this is what they face in this journey as well. And instead of we should help them, we basically made it impossible to them. So and since then I become very grateful to life. I mean, to have second chance in life. It's like, this is your second chance, so make the most of it. Yeah.
So what happened when you reached UK?
I seek my asylum. I was lucky. I managed to get my paper much quicker than other people could. They had to wait.
Was the process very stringent?
The process is awful. The process is beyond awful, and I'm very ashamed of it. Like, for example, the first question I was asked at the Home Office or the police station, whatever it was, I can't remember the details. After what was my name? What is your color?
What is your color?
Yeah. And I was like, my color? I don't know what's my color. Like, this color? Like, how can I describe my color? I don't know what is my color. And he's like, answer that question. I said, like, I told you, I'm not, like, this is my color. I don't know what they call this color. And he said, no, answer that question. I said to him, I don't know. It depends on the season. I don't know. You know, if in summer you get a bit tan, in winter you get a bit pale. It's like, I don't know what sort of a question is that. And he was shocked. And then he started to ask me where you're from and why did he come here, etc. But then I got my
So you faced racism from?
Of course. Yeah. I mean, is it racism? Is it prejudice? Is it ignorance? I don't know. But it's I mean, they deal with this every day. So it's not ignorance anymore. It's not an ignorance. It's just a matter of how they ask the question and how they just want to humiliate you, how you feel, being here, etc. So it's, and also, it is racism. Yeah.
Then what happened?
I I got my refugee status, and they put me somewhere in the middle of nowhere in North England, and it was a horrible place, horrible condition. And they give you refugee status, and then they said, you're safe, you're good to be here, help yourself. I didn't speak a word of English, a single word. I haven't finished my high school. I never worked in my life at the time because I'd just been dealing with everything. And like and I didn't have a home. And they kicked me out of my accommodation. They said, go find accommodation. You want to find accommodation, you need money. You need money, you need to work. You need to work, you need time, you need experience, you need a degree, something. And in order to have that, you have to study, you have to do something.
Correct.
So if you are in a loop, in a circle, you try to get one of them and the other one depend on the other one, and you didn't have all of them. So it didn't work. And it's like, I'm going to be homeless again. So I was homeless for another 2 weeks until I found a hostel to accommodate me for a bit, to temporary, until I went through organizations and help with people who are amazing, I have to say. They rely on the government. Government, basically, they just want us to leave.
Mhm.
Yeah, and they still want us to leave. But people were wonderful. People were really wonderful. They really have kind-hearted. And this is the beautiful thing, the government, how the government separates from the people. People are really welcoming and friendly and warm, and they want to help you, where the other side is like, no, we don't want you here. Yeah, of course, there are good and bad people everywhere. Yeah, but no, my experience with people was wonderful. And then after a year, I just didn't know what to do. Just everything was impossible. I found an organization called Refugees at Home. It helped me to connect with a family, and I came to sit with a family, etc. Where I moved to Cambridge, and I was like, where, I don't know, kind of like where I felt safe. For the
You
first
stayed
time.
there for long, 9 years, right?
Yes, I meant to go there for 3 months, 3 weeks to 3 months, to stay with the family, and then like 6 months to up to a year max, and then after 9 years, here I am.
My God, this is like a Hollywood movie, maybe.
Oh my
right?
God! No.
And so just at what point when you realized that cooking could be your voice?
It's an interesting question, because when I came to Huddersfield, we're up north city, and here for 2 years I haven't had my mom's food, for home cooked food, and I was desperate for that food. I really felt I just need that food. I kept eating just junk food all the time. I immediately
They gave me some money, etc. And I immediately went to the supermarket, tried to find the nearest ingredient where I can make something that makes me feel home. So I went to a Middle Eastern shop in Huddersfield. I got the lentils, I got the rice, I got the onions and olive oil, and I made something called mujaddara, which is something kind of like, in Egypt they call it kushari or something, just like a base carb, but delicious, and also has some protein and the fried onion on the top. And I made that dish just remembering my mom's making it at home. I never made it before, so I had no idea. Just remembering all the details, the sense and the smell and taste. And as soon as I had the first bite, I felt like home. I'm like, this is my home, and I felt like this is really healing. And here I discovered the power of food and the power of how we can carry our plates with us. And I discovered this is actually a journey I would like to take.
So this cooking actually helped you to preserve the memories of Syria.
Absolutely,
right?
absolutely. It's a preserve memory, but also to evoke everything as well. Because you have this conflict inside of you, and you didn't know where you are, displaced, homeless, refugee, migrant, immigrant. You always have to identify yourself. You always have to kind of prove yourself. But food was the easiest way. It's not just the easiest way. Is there no much more? Is there the way there's no clashes between different culture and different language?
But Faraj, I was just going through an interview of yours, in which you have said that food is like a migrant bird.
Yeah.
So and you cannot control the migration.
No.
So do you believe in that?
Yes.
Yeah, of course we believe in
Yeah.
that. But why do you say this?
I mean, look through all history. Yeah, how we received our recipes in any different part of the world, even like here in Calcutta or in Syria or I don't know, in Italy. It's because the power of recipe and food is much more stronger than actually we think. because you might stop the person, but you cannot stop the passing the recipes and passing the knowledge to the kids and the offspring. So so I strongly believe in that. And for example, like, you know, I came to the UK. No one knows who I am. No one knows about my life, my childhood, my city, where I came from, or what environment I grew up with, or family I came from. But they can see that. They can see that through my food. Yeah.
So how do you balance your own authenticity with your innovation? You know, in your cooking, in your food.
I mean,
how do you balance your authenticity?
You know, but I mean, you always keep it authentic. The food is always something is, you have to, I don't know, it's kind of like, I'm trying to give you an example. You know, when I make let's say when I made munjadar, for example, this is like something, it's classic dish, always authentic, etc. But what was the second question? Sorry.
How do you deal with the moments of invisibility and, you know, or rejection maybe?
Cooking. I deal with it through cooking as well, because I think it's for me, cooking is also not just you know, feeling good or feeding myself or others, but also it's a self-relaxing. It's a way I can run from everything's happening in my head. Yeah, and I think it explains a lot when I said to you that first time I made that dish. It's kind of like escaping the moment of like sorrow and homesickness and pain, jumping into the memory or beautiful memories. And feeling safe and kind of recharging yourself again. Yeah, and also writing. I love writing. I do write poetry as well. I'm not a poet.
So you're a poet, and
but I do. Yes, I do write. I always loved writing as a kid, like to write anything. So I do. I like to sit down and find like a corner with a cup of coffee and just write.
One Syrian ingredient that you always you can't live without.
I mean, there's a lot of ingredients I cannot live without. That's a really hard question, but I can say tahine, which is sesame seed paste, which is you find in every Levant kitchen almost, or Middle Eastern, but specifically Levant kitchen. Also pomegranate molasses, because these kind of things, like it's this pomegranates, because Syria is famous with pomegranates, but also the way they make it as well on the open fire. And as here, like in Calcutta, they talk about their own season of the molasses. I really understand that in winter, but also like in winter, it's pomegranate molasses season as well.
We call it gur.
Gur.
Yeah.
I love it. I've seen it in the market here, how they put it in the clay and the preservative. It's beautiful. And I really resonate with that a lot. So pomegranate molasses and tahini are like the two things that you cannot cook without them. I mean, of course, olive oil and pistachio as well.
Yeah. So years from now, how would you like to be remembered? For your food, for your poetry, for your journey? What?
That's actually a really deep question.
I'm just asking you.
Yeah.
Just be casual. Just a normal question.
Yeah. How I'd like to be remembered. I mean, they can be remembered in different ways. I think it's for me. Yeah, I think with food, I would like to be remembered with food. Yeah, because it's when I decided to go back to Cairo after 9 years in Cambridge. Lots of my friends I met the most beautiful people in my life in Cambridge, and they said, Faraj, we're gonna miss you, but also we're gonna miss your food around. And I never thought about it in that way. Like, it's like, yeah, they miss my food, or like because we cook for each other. But it's like, really, we miss your food. We miss that. This is beautiful stories and the taste of your Aleppo and Syria. So I think I would like to be remembered with food as well. Yeah, that's. I think it's a beautiful thing, because food is a very strong. It's not just like a memory. It's also smell, the taste. It goes through all your senses.
Yeah,
it's not like it's a happy date or a cup of coffee or something. No, it's something you will carry forever. So I remember my home Aleppo through food. I remember my grandparents and my mother cooking. I remember all these things through food. Yeah. So, and I carry that with me, and I would like to pass that as well.
So for home, is it a place, a smell, a memory, or a key?
It's all of them. They all complete each other.
I love that key part in Shubha Mukherjee's book, where you have mentioned about the key which your uncle engraved.
Yeah.
And I think your grandmom told you the key is everything.
Everything.
For a family, for a house.
Yeah.
Because that is...
Yeah, she said, like, you can lose your house, but you cannot lose your key. You know, the key you have it with you.
Key, then you
lose your house.
Oh, that's amazing.
And she always looked after the key. The key, I mean, the key is an identity.
Mm-hmm.
It tells who you are, where you came from. That also you have a home, you have a place. Whether it's there or not, but it's the metaphor of the key. Yeah.
So for home, what is it? It's a smell, memory, key, or
it's, as I said, I mean, it's all. It's a smell. It's smell because it's, you know, this distinguished smell of Aleppo that I always miss. Like you go to the old bazaar and you smell. There's a place where you only smell coffee, for example, and that's like very distinct smell of coffee that you only smell in Aleppo, or the soap, Aleppo soap, which is famous from made of olive oil. So that is also a smell. So every one from Aleppo, they have Aleppo soap in their home or in the suitcase, on the wardrobe, that they always smell and remember. Because if they're not able to go back or whatever reason, it's a plate. Of course, it's a variety of plates on the table as well that we always had, and of course, it's the key that because we can carry with us wherever we go. So, and a memory, it's forever memory. And even now, for example, we talked about everything about Aleppo, for example, this beautiful city. So it's a key, it's a memory, and a plate and a place.
Yeah, nice. Yeah, nice. Yeah. I understand. So for you, what is important? Silence in the kitchen or the applause in the dining room?
I think silent in the kitchen.
Silent in the kitchen.
Yeah.
You don't like limelight. You don't like applause.
It gave me some anxiety, and I just don't know how to react with that. Because also, as I said earlier, you know, cooking is a metaphor where I escape rejection or sad time. So it's an art as well. It's like place, you know, you need to have your own silence, like the artists need to draw or do their own things. But of course, I like to hear the noise from the other room, but I like to be, in the kitchen. In the kitchen. Yeah. Safe. But also what I really love, I love like watching people eating from distance and see the joy on their faces. But without they seeing.
So Faraj, we have just come to the end of the conversation. So, but before we end it up, so I have a small question for you. If someone is watching this show, as per you, what is the one truth they should carry forward?
Not to give up.
Not to give up?
Not to give up, no. Because if I give up, I wouldn't be who I am right now. If I give up, I wouldn't make it to England. If I give up, I wouldn't be the Syrian chef who always dreamt to do what he'll always love to do. If I give up, I might be somewhere, I might have to fight as well. Or I mean, you always fight, but in a different way. Or stayed in Syria or somewhere, I don't know. But it's never did not to give up. Not to give up. Yeah, you might be let down. You will always be let down and face rejection and be disappointed. But it's always for better opportunity in life to come. Yeah, for always there's a door will open. It might not open or might will open, but it will. But we should not give up. Yeah, we should never give up. Yeah. And I'm also the character. I'm really stubborn. Yeah, but I think if I give up, I think I'll be somewhere completely different in life, which is I won't be happy about. Yeah.
With this note, we are ending this conversation. But before we move, I would like to wish you a lot of good luck in your future. And we are really craving for Syrian food in Kolkata. So if possible, you should come back to Kolkata and serve us with your food.
I would love that. I would love that. I mean, the food in Kolkata is actually mind-blowing. I absolutely loved it. And as yesterday, I was discussing with my friend Shubha she told me about like the rest of what people think of Indian food, and like always in the West, like, I went for Indian. I was like, I had chicken masala, or I had, kebab or whatever. Yeah, but Indian food is it's a big word when you say Indian food. The same thing with Middle Eastern food and Syrian food. It's a huge thing, and but knowing also Bengali food is different from the rest of the Indian food, and how like Bengali food, they see the food and the identity. Yeah, Gulgul Baja. Yes, it's like we are better here, and it's really resonate with me. Also, someone from Aleppo as well. It's like our food as well is the richness and the varieties you have, and the similarity as well. Yeah, no, the food here is I think it's I mean, after our home food, I would say Bengali food now. It's just so good. Yeah,
it was pleasure talking to you, Faraj, and
likewise.
Thanks a lot for being on my show. So with that note, we come to the end of this conversation. Please do subscribe if you like this episode and share. And যদি ভালো লেগে থাকে অবশ্যই subscribe করুন Talkathon with Subhadip. Till next time, goodbye.
Ashi.